Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey, but today it's just rum. If you like today's show, which I think you are going to, this might be my best show ever. Like and subscribe and consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. And thanks so much for the Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. Much appreciated. And as a Patreon, you have exclusive access to my exclusive Patreon reviews. And I have over 30 in the archives, and I do one or two a month. Okay, so check that out if you're interested. And remember, folks, it's just rum. What we're going to talk about and review here today is something very special to my heart. It's a rum from Belize. And this is the Belize 1981 40th anniversary, which we're going to get into all that. 40th anniversary of Belize's independence. This was actually bottled in 2021. So this came out over 3 years ago. But it just came to my area recently. And this bottle has only been open a week. And I've made a pretty good dent into it already. A quick history of Belize. You're like, where is Belize? Belize is in Central America, and it borders Mexico. So it's directly south of Mexico, and it is the northern border of Guatemala. Okay, so Belize is, I believe, about the size of Massachusetts as a country, but with a much less population. And south of Guatemala is Honduras. Why do I mention Honduras? Well, because up until 1973, Belize was known as British Honduras. And in 1973, it was changed to Belize. But it wasn't until 1981 that Belize got their independence from Britain. Okay. And why is this going to be the best review I've ever done? Well, because Belize lies very close to my heart for many, many, many reasons. This shirt that I'm wearing, I bought this in 1988, the first time I went there after seeing an episode on the news magazine called 60 Minutes. And I went there with my best friend in 1988, and we did a road trip to Miami and then flew out to Belize and spent, I think, several days there. And this bottle of Belize Belgian beer is from 1988. I've saved it all this time. Now, Belize Belgian beer, they also have an export version of it, but it's not the same. If you want Belgian beer, you have to go to Belize, and it's a damn good beer. So, 1988, I first went there, and then life got in the way, and it wasn't until the early 2000s where I started revisiting Belize many times, several times, in a previous life. And I've had many fond memories of Belize. I visited Aktun Tunachel Muknal in Belize, which is in the jungle, and it's a massive caves system with a lot of water in it, and it's a ancient Mayan sacrificial burial grounds. And in the early 2000s, I went on an exploration to there, and that was actually one of the highlights of my life. You actually have to wade waist deep or neck deep into water to even get into the cave, and then you're walking through quite a bit of water throughout the cave, and then you're riding horseback in the jungles there, and just many, many, many fond memories, including when I was there in the early 2000s. I wrote I worked on my novel, renting a grass hut on the ocean. And I went there many times working on my novel, and which I self-published in 2011 finally. All right. I'm just going to read what the box has to say because it is interesting and it's historical and it's relevant. And it's my show. And I'm going to do what I want today because this is the best show I'm ever going to do. So what they say here is Belize's struggle for independence started in the 1950s with the formation of the Belize nationalist movement. It was not until 21st of September of 1981, after a long diplomatic and political struggle, that Belize gained overwhelming support of the international community and reached an agreement with the United Kingdom to earn its independence. The Traveller's Distillery, which is from, they are in Belize City, the Traveller's Distillery also had its roots in the nationalist sentiments of the 1950s, when its founder, Omario Perdomo, felt the need to refine the locally made rums for the Belize market, instead of depending on imports from Europe and the region. As part of the English-speaking Caribbean and also part of the Spanish-speaking Central America, Belize shares the rum-making techniques of both regions. It is with this experience and long tradition that Travelers has been producing some of the best rums in the world. 1981 represents the best of these rums. For the release of this limited edition cask strength exquisite rum, we selected the best of our 2005 inventory that was aged for 15 years in ex-bourbon casks and then rested in ex-sherry casks for 6 months. So they don't say what kind of ex-sherry, okay? So it's actually 15 and a half years old, all right? And its cask strength comes in at 64% ABV. Not only is there no non-chill filtering, I don't even think there's any filtering going on there. This is one of the darkest, sediment-rich spirits that I've ever personally owned. The sediment and on the bottom of this, when you tip it upside down, it's just this swirling haze in there. This is loaded with natural cask sediment and uniqueness. It's a special rum, but it's not for everyone. I previously reviewed this Rum Runner Belize Traveller's 12-year-old, okay? And I compared it a little bit to the Foursquare 2008. And this is an award-winning rum, but it's very, very different from this Belize rum over here. And we're going to get into the review and all this kind of stuff. So just fast forward if you don't like the history. But I'm really having a good time here. In total apples and oranges, the way I would describe this rum, which we're going to get into, a deep dive into, is it's apples and oranges. But if you like from Haiti, okay, the agricole rum, the cane juice rum, that's been the Clarins from Haiti that have been finished in wine casks. Well, this particular one I'm holding was, I believe, fully matured for 29 months. But it's a different Clarin cane juice rum is different from what we're dealing over here. But the wine influence in both of these are kind of similar. So if you like a heavily wine, sherry influence, funky rum, then this might be for you. So this particular bottle says cask number 1 and bottle number 408. So I don't know if they did a second release. I think this was the only one they did. And And it doesn't say USA exclusive on here, but it might be. But yeah, so Cask 1, bottle 408, 64%. What I do occasionally, I have a good friend, Mitch, and I'll give him something totally blind and he has no idea what it is at all. And I'll just say, what are your first impressions? What do you think of this? And blind, when I gave him this, right away he sensed the ABV of this, right? So he knew it was strong, but he said it's not Scotch, right? And then he's smelling it and tasting it, and he described it as maple syrup with black currants. Now, he's a world traveler. I've never had black currants. So this is coming from him. He had no idea what this was. So he said maple syrup, black currants. It's not a Scotch. He said, is this Indian? Because he knows I like Indian rum, Indian spirits, single malts. So that was his main things. He thought maybe it was Indian, maple syrup, black currants, and then he finally guessed that it was probably rum, but he wasn't sure if it was an Indian rum or where it came from. Rum or where it came from. So yeah. Let's get on to the review finally, shall we? And it's not, I believe it's probably sold out. In hindsight, it's very pricey. You're talking around the $200-ish mark. Again, I'm very biased. If it says Belize on it, I'm going to have a little prejudice towards that, probably. But I do believe I can be objective, and you will get an objective review of this. So, on the nose, this is, I'm digging this, okay? Again, but it's not for everybody. So on the nose, right off the bat when I pour this, maple syrup, brown sugar was the prominent note. But once you dig your nose into it and let it breathe a little bit, and I've played around with water, teaspoons of water, drops of water. So you're seeing like a Campbell's soup version of those. Maple, you're getting a maple wine note, if there's such a thing. Again, the brown sugar. There's also some acetone and airplane glue in here, which is usually a huge turnoff for me, but I don't mind it in here at all. Again, that might be my bias, but it does have that. Whereas this Belize 12-year-old rum runner has zero acetone in it. You're getting fruity and floral. This is a beautiful, beautiful rum, by the way. If you can find any more of these, grab one. So yeah, so back on the nose. Also get some earthiness, some mustiness, a slight burnt popcorn note, and a slight red purple grape note on here as well. This is something you could spend a lot of time with. Oh, here comes my little, hi Hayes. This is my Angel Wings Hazel. Hi Hayes, you want to wave to the camera? Oh, she really makes an appearance. She's been playing down here. And, oh, hi Hayes, you want to say hi to everybody? There you go. Oh, good girl. Oh, good girl. Yep, okay. She wants to play. And you know what the cats love to play with the most? Is the simplest things. Whenever I peel off a top protector of the plastic or the foil, they love jumping around and playing with that. It's one of their favorite toys. All right. So I covered the nose. The palate. Here's what I recommend doing with the palate. Chew it. It's something I rarely do, but I found just by chewing. So here we go. I really like this. It's syrupy, viscous. The sweetness, but it's not syrupy sweetness. It's a dry sweetness that's there. Again, that maple syrup, the brown sugar, toffee, condensed stewed fruits, which would probably be like a raisin, okay? If you really want to like condense some stewed fruits and really concentrate it to its purest form, probably some raisin in there. And then also too, you get the cinnamon fireball, those red candy cinnamon fireballs. But that's just part of the experience. There's you could spend a lot of time with this and find things that I haven't found in here. The finish is dry, but it's sticky, and you have that red cinnamon fireball kind of candy at the end. But this is not a cinnamon bomb by any means. Everything I described, it's just something that I'm going to make this bottle last a long time and just enjoy and savor and just kind of reminisce about my times, enjoyable times in Belize. And all the times that I visited Belize, and we're going to get to the score in a second, all the time that I visited Belize and other countries as well, but particularly Belize, I avoid the all-inclusive resorts. I live in vacation, especially with Belize. I live in vacation with the natives and staying at grass huts and real small mom and pop huts type thing. And I spent a lot of time with the locals, and I was there so often in the early 2000s that people thought I actually was a resident, and I would get invited to people's houses and drink Cuban rums and Belize rums and other things. All right, drum roll, please. The score that I'm going with this is a 9 out of 10, okay, which is exceptional. And what do I think, and what should you think about that score? 9 out of 10. You knew it was coming. You better Belize it. So I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I did. If you can find one of these, they're not cheap, but it's a keepsake. And in hindsight, I wish I picked up a backup bottle. So hats off to you all, folks. Give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe, become a Patreon. And take care, folks. And remember, it's just rum. And you better Belize it.